is something very special to witness. 5 for 5 off 3.3 overs.
The exploits of Akash Madwal saw the Mumbai Indians progress in the sudden death finals. Cam Green top scored again for the Indians. He made 41 from 23 balls. He was the reason that they qualified with his century, and now he continues to lead them in what is a remarkable period for Australia's budding all-rounder. Bharat Sundaresan is following all of this for us. Bharat, great to have you back on the program.
Thanks, Gerard. Yeah, I mean, Akash Madwal has gone from being known as just Rishabh Pant's neighbour who used to play a bit of cricket to now a global star overnight.
It happens in a hurry over there. So just put me inside the past, few weeks of Cam Green as he has, he's paid his way for the Indians, hasn't he?
He totally has. I mean, there was a period at the start of the season where Mumbai look unlikely that they would go through to the playoffs, and then it literally has turned on Cam Green's performances. We spoke earlier, Gerard, a few weeks earlier, because when he just started, he looked nervous, and I don't think the Mumbai Indians were quite sure of how to use Cam Green. And then they just find a role for him at number 3. He hits those 250s, I think maybe 3 weeks ago, and then in the last 10 days or so, that's fantastic 100 of just 47 balls, and then last night again, just his footwork against spinners. Gerard, don't forget, till last year when he went to Pakistan, I don't think he played competitive cricket in the subcontinent, and to see the improvement that he's made, and not to forget just 2.5 months earlier, he was batting out an entire session of play, scoring 8 or 9 runs on a ranked turner in Indore and setting up a test match win for Australia. And from there to what he's become now in T20 cricket, it's amazing. 52.75 average, strike rate of 161.007. All that money that Mumbai Indians paid for him already seems worthwhile.
So the rise of Cam Green, and that's been mirrored by the rise of Shubman Gill, who we've had the privilege of seeing here. And has he been anointed now as the Prince of Indian batting?
He already has, Gerard. I know we've been talking a lot about coronations recently in the world, but this is the coronation that matters to India. I mean, more than even who the current Prime Minister is, and I know the current Prime Minister of India was in Australia very recently, but who's next? Who's the next batting star? From Tendulkar to Kohli to now Shubman Gill. I think Virat Kohli himself has announced Shubman Gill as his the hire to the throne, and also in a game where Virat Kohli makes his second consecutive 100, Shubman Gill does one better and knocks out Bangalore. We saw him 3 years ago in Australia making his Test debut, stepping out to Nathan Lyon and hitting him for 4. And he survived that testing spell against Stark and Cummins under dark skies at the MCG, and to see where he's gone from there, it's quite amazing. And yes, I mean, he is the next star. He's not just the star of the future. He's the current star. He's been scoring runs for fun in 50-over cricket. He made that first Test 100 on home soil against Australia in Ahmedabad with the 2 prime ministers watching. And now 200s already in this IPL. And to celebrate it, he just posted a picture on social media like you do these days of showing off his wonderful physique, completely topless, which is how you announce yourself to the world in the modern era, Gerard.
So 2 games left. The final is in the early hours of Monday morning our time. The Chennai Super Kings have already booked their place. This is MS Dhoni's team. So you told us at the start of this tournament that, what is he? He's 42 and he was playing to be able to sort of take this team back through its home games, and here they are in the final.
Here they are in the final for the 10th time in 16 seasons. I mean, they've been amazingly consistent. And not to forget, 2 of those 16 seasons, they were suspended for, the whole spot fixing scandal period. So in the 14 seasons that they've been part of the IPL, they made the finals 10 times. And they say that about Kiss and some of these other bands, right? They just have many, many farewell tours. That seems to be the case with MS Dhoni. And it's been out of this world, Gerard, the reception he's been getting at every ground around India, because nobody knows, and that's the beauty of MS Dhoni. Nobody knows what's next for him. Is this actually his final season? I think so, as a biographer. but nobody knows. So people are going out there cheering him, not knowing whether they'll get to see him again. And that's the game that only MS Dhoni can play. And he's been, scoring everything. I mean, playing all his super hits every time he goes out there, hit sixes in the last over, and just, the gamesmanship that only MS Dhoni can bring. In the last game 2 nights ago, his key bowler Patirana was off the field, and there are 4 minutes to go before he can officially bowl. So what does MS Dhoni do? He just catches up with the umpires for a chat about this and that, and delays the game so that then Patirana is ready to bowl. I mean, if there is a loophole to be found in the laws of the game, MS Dhoni will do that.
How big will the crowd be at the final?
I think it'll be a full house. It will be many more thousands of people than what we saw on the morning of the first that test match in Ahmedabad, which is supposed to be a full house. It was pretty close to being full last year, but I think this time around, and regardless of whether the Gujarat Titans make it, because there'll be a home final for them. They are the defending champions. And Mumbai versus Chennai has already become the rivalry in the history of the IPL. They played many finals against each other, and stars on both sides as well. So regardless of who makes it to the final, I think we'll see 100,000 plus people. And like I said, MS Dhoni will be out there playing his hits maybe for one final time, or who knows.
So the Australians left in the three teams remaining. So is it just in Mumbai? So Australia's got Cam Green and Tim David in that team. Is that right?
Yes, Riley Meredith is in there. Jason Behrendorff has had a very good last couple of weeks in the IPL. He's been their main strike bowler with the new ball. But in terms of who's left from the Ashes squad, it is just Cam Green. Yes, that's right. Only Cam Green to go. So, I don't think Australia are complaining too much. Just the way he's been batting and the experience he's been gaining. But 3 months in India, his life's turned around, Jared.
Yeah. Yep. I had Andrew McDonald in yesterday and was talking about that. So our last point of business then, Bharat, is to just cast an eye towards England, where Michael Neser is killing it in the county championship. The coach couldn't have been more effusive in his praise of what he's been able to do. It seems like he will be added to the squad, so he is available for selection in the World Test Champion and the first 2 tests of the Ashes. Have you reignited your Neser must-play campaign?
It never died, Jared. It never died. And it was Andrew McDonald, I remember very clearly, in the afternoon of the test match where Michael Neser made his debut, when he was still assistant coach. Andrew McDonald walked up to me in the net and said, "You finally got your way." And I told him that day, that doesn't end with just the test W, Ronnie. This is just the start, and it's going and gaining strength. It's amazing. Every time he takes a wicket, there's someone out there in the Twitter sphere who says #Neser must play, Jared. So, and like I've told you before, I've also been approached by some other injured cricketers' siblings to start a campaign on their behalf. But no, for now, I'm dedicated only I'm going to stick with Michael Neser. And look, he's just been amazing, right? He's just born to bowl in England, and the runs he can score in the lower order. Hopefully he gets it, though.
Bharat, great to chat. Enjoy the IPL final. We might round it all up at some stage next week.
Can't wait, Jared, and England's just around the corner.
Yes, as you'll be over there, part of our SEN Test cricket coverage. Bharat Sundaresan has kept us up to speed through this phenomenal IPL tournament, the exploits of Cam Green, and the prospect that MS Dhoni, maybe on his farewell lap, might win that trophy in front of 120-odd thousand people in the early hours of Monday morning.